unfortunately, even cases, obviously, of life being lost. It's quite unfortunate. And so this has really inspired and shaped our conversation today about the way we need to think about doing for community, doing for your neighbor. And we're borrowing principles from those who are actually in the humanitarian space, right? Those principles we did highlight in the first break, in case you're just joining in, is humanity, impartiality, independence, and neutrality. If you didn't catch Reverend John Mark explaining those and what they mean in a very simple form, please go back to YouTube, watch part 1. Now we're in part 2. Yeah. Rev, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
I was just thinking, a lot of my guests like asking me what to wear for the show. And then I always like it when I invite you because the look is the same.
I hope I don't put on the same suit.
We have to go back to your previous interview and see if you do. But I mean, the color is the same.
Well, it's always been white.
So you struggle looking for something to wear. I wish I had your work. Like, my life would be so easy.
Well, you know, as a clergy, we have only 3 different colors.
Really?
Yes.
It's all narrowed down to 3.
There are 3 different colors. It is either black or it is, actually there are 4. It is either black or it is gray or it is blue or it is white. Okay?
So for
bishops, for bishops, they put on purple. So since I'm not a bishop, I don't put on purple, so I'm limited to just these 4
colors.
And of those 4, I rarely put on blue like the one I'm wearing now. Yeah, so most of the times it's either white or black.
It's true.
Yes.
And so your Kamba clergymen who struggle with colors. And then you're confining them to just those.
Just 3 colors or 4 colors.
And they're just dying on the inside to bust out and wear yellow.
So some you'll find that they might want to put on purple or pink, so they put on a suit that is like that with a white.
You're like, oh.
Like, okay. So some of us would feel like putting to blind up your colors.
Okay, sawa.
But we still struggle with what to wear, because on top of that you have to put on these others. So like,
there are fashion issues within the clergy.
Of course, yes.
Oh please, atikuna swag.
We have to. We need to look smart. I mean,
even these guys have swag issues, you know.
We need to look smart. We need to look smart. I mean, we represent his holiness and his highness. And
it's true. You gotta represent him to the most.
Oh,
yes, to the highest. Okay. Anyway, welcome back to the show, Rev. Right. We're talking obviously about something so important at this particular time. One of the key questions that I know you kind of alluded to this before, but let's just stress on this. When people are in that space of giving or donating, whatever term you want to use, there's always this word that pops up called dignity, and why it's important, you know, to treat people with dignity when you're in that space of helping. Why is it so important, by the way, you know, to maintain that?
I mentioned it earlier. Number one, being human is itself dignified.
Yeah.
So if you want to treat a dignified person, you must add in dignity. So that I may be in my worst situation, but please allow me still to be human. Let me give you 2 examples. We have old men who sometimes fall sick and go to hospital. And an old man in his 80s, 60s, 70s, 90s, tells you that I would not love to be treated or to be bathed by a nurse, a female nurse. Could I have a male nurse take care of me? And some people are like, we don't have a male nurse. Like, the reason is he respects himself and he would be comfortable to be taken care of by a man because he feels that's part of his pride and dignity. Now, when I am hungry and you drop food and say, hey, there you are. You poor people. Just, you know I may be desperate, but I'm still human. Because today you might be on the chopper and on the 4-wheeler, but when something happens down the road, I will not come in and look at you with a said, oh, you had an accident. Here's a stick. I can't get too close. He's a human being. Carry the person with dignity. And the best example, you talked about the good book. The best example is the Good Samaritan. In fact, one of the things we're doing now, in part of our Sunday school teaching, is we're teaching them what we call life skills, first aid. The best example is that guy. The guy came out of his donkey, went and treated the boy who was bitten, put the person on his donkey, and walked with the donkey. So he did the walking. Now, Try and imagine the boy who was beaten.
Yeah.
When he wakes up tomorrow, he said, I rode the rich man's donkey.
Wow.
Man, that guy respected me more than he respected himself.
I know.
That person will feel so proud. Even if he becomes still poor, he said, but I'm a rich guy. I hang out with rich people.
Right.
So dignity makes me get some pride back into who I am.
Yeah.
And makes me feel I'm human enough. I'm creating the image of the great God.
Right.
And therefore, I'm not a child of a lesser God than you are. So allow me and allow us to be equal, human.
I know. And this is the reason we brought that point up, is because the way that you're actually handing out, you know, your whatever, foodstuffs, the clothing or whatever, your handouts, if I can call them that, really matters. I mean, you know, you'll be on the expressway and someone is like literally cannot even fathom opening that window to just pass that coin.
Yes.
But it's almost like, you know, you're just flickering the thing at that person. When it comes to your foodstuffs, are you giving people scraps?
Yes.
You know, leftovers that cannot even be helpful to them or useful to them. The kind of clothes that we're giving out. What good is it if you're giving everything that is completely 100% tattered, that is not reusable? And you decide, okay, oh, Reverend John Mark asked for help.
Yes.
Okay, let's just put all the stuff that we would trash out into those bags.
Today in the morning, we were discussing that with my wife, and we were saying we need to remove some of the clothes. So I said, okay, because in my wardrobe, there are clothes I wear. So I told her, I'm going to remove this and this and this. She said, wow, this is my favorite suit, but I would love to see someone wear it. And she looked at me and said, really? I said, yeah, I would love to see someone wear it. It's my favorite suit. I would love to see someone in it. And the joy of someone being like me makes me feel we are equal. So I'm not looking at you as a destitute to throw out the things I don't need in my wardrobe.
Right.
And if it comes to shoes, I don't want to give you the one that I can't wear. I want to give you the one that I'll be proud to see you walk in.
And that's the problem with people giving. We are dumping, not giving.
We're dumping. We're dumping. We're cleaning up our house. We don't want these things.
So what we're saying, giving is not dumping.
No,
it's not, and
it's sharing what we've got.
It's sharing what you've got.
So let's share what we have.
And I like the brutality that even people who are, you know, organizing these stuffs are, because they will say no, and you know, they'll give a list. Do not bring this, do not bring this, and don't bring this. Because I mean, how are you helping at the end of the day? Then you come and say, nilisaidia. But then you're giving us your stinky,
things
gross,
you can't wear, things if you see someone dressed in, you won't believe it came from me.
Right.
Because that actually tells me who you really are.
Right.
Because if you give me your tattered trousers and your tattered, then it means you actually had those. So that's the real you we don't see. But if I see you've given me your best suit and I'm walking around in it and be like, wow, that is who I really am. And if he's not wearing it, I would be wearing it.
Correct.
Dignity, pride, and just the joy. For me, it is the smile on the face of the person who's received it. When they tell you, thank you, you've made me proud.
That's fantastic.
Of being human.
I love it.
Right.
Bernice says, I struggle with making time for from my schedule to serve. Is this really for everyone? And I think we can tie this into how we can encourage things like community service to be part of our daily lives. I mean, look at what the Asian community is doing. I don't know whether it's fine. It's part of, you know, what they have to do at the temple, but the point is they're getting it done. The impact is there. So yes, answer Bernice, and what are your recommendations on how we can improve this area of our lives?
Well, a lot of people would say, maybe that's not my thing. The question is, what is your thing? What is your thing? You see, we can sometimes use the word I'm busy. I'm busy in the office. I don't have time to do that. Maybe I'm the type that would write a check instead of show up. Like Americans would call it the soup kitchen. I don't have time to go to the soup kitchen. I can give you a check. You go buy the soup and serve it. But the truth is this, where is the humanity in it? Because writing a check is nice, but being present puts the smile on the face. It is giving yourself, not giving you just your time. It is giving yourself. Now, community service helps in many ways. It gives you back what you lost in the busy life. Because let's be very honest, there are some people who work almost 24 hours a day.
Right.
Even in their sleep, they're thinking of the next appointment. They're thinking of what they haven't done. They wake up with a jump and it's like, oh my God, I overslept. I need to run and run and run.
Right.
Now, when this person reaches an age when now they will need someone else to help,
All right.
people will tell them, hey, you didn't have time for us.
We'll also write you a check.
We'll write you a check and we'll send you someone to take care of you.
Right.
Like there's a joke someone said that be careful how you treat your child because they'll determine which old people's home you go to. You know? So if you kept on writing checks, they'll write a check to our old people's home so that you go there and don't ask me to come and visit. You didn't have time for us.
Yes.
So we need to remind people that a part of what makes humanity different is our social networking.
The connection.
The connectivity, the connection, the ability to just sit like now we are sitting and talking and laughing. We've had opportunities to visit. I'm an alumni of Italy.
Oh.
Yes.
You are? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Now, so we have a welfare.
Yeah.
And we decided that every year we collect some money and visit an old people's home. Because we are heading in that generation as we get older as well. So we go in and the old people, we tell them, oh, I'm so and so and I'm this old. And the guy said, oh yeah, you're like my last one. Is like, yeah. You know, I'm catching up. Yeah. The fact that you took time to sit with them and they'll tell you stories of before independence. Yeah. They'll tell you stories of when Kenyatta did this and when Moi did that. And some of those things we read in history. Of course. But the guys who are there are here. Yeah. So you'd rather get it from the horse's mouth. Right. But when you are leaving, you see tears in their eyes. It's like, we've never had a group come and just sit and talk to us. Because that's all they want. That's all they value that for. More. And this is the thing. And that's what we miss today. Yeah. That we are either too busy or we have too many excuses. Right. And the truth is, the excuse won't take you far. It will not. No. Because you'd hate to when someone give it for you. And this is the thing. Like, we have been conditioned to think that giving back or doing for others means monetary value. Why is it very important to get that clear, that by the way, it's not the money? No, it's not the money. It's not the money more than anything. The money is good that it helps do 1, 2, 3, but there is more to life than money. Let me give you an example. Back in the village, some of the people that live in the village don't handle money on a regular basis. If they want to eat meat, they have a chicken. If they want burger, they have that. Yeah. So they basically deal with what is in the neighborhood, unless they want to eat something they do not have, which they'll ask, but why go for something I don't have while I have what I can? Yeah. So money does not. But when you visit them, and I don't know whether, Shiko, you ever go to visit some of these old mamas in the village, the amount, they'll kill a whole chicken. You're comfortable with a quarter in the CBD, but they'll kill a whole chicken, do for you a mini buffet in the house, and you're wondering, but you're not rich enough to do it. Said that wealth is not in money. Right. It is this heart. Yeah. It is this is where wealth and then is. They're giving from their heart. They are sharing what they have. They are so happy when they see you eat. Right. And then when you eat just one piece, it's like, but when Nairobi, you people don't know what to eat. I always go there with stomach problems. You should enjoy and eat. And for them, the story, how the city is, that reminds you, like, I remember one time I was sharing with my dad. My dad left Nairobi, officially left in 1969. Yeah. And I told him I was living on Thika Road. He remembers Thika Road. Between Utali and Kasarani, there were no buildings. Yeah. So I'm telling him, oh, Dad, there's a whole estate there. It's like, there was nothing there before. Right. There was GSU and nothing else. Yeah. So we would sit down and I describe the expressway. And it's like, what is it? Yeah. And you tell him about Thika Superhighway. You have to explain there are several lanes. Yeah. He's used with a lane, a road where cattle pass. Yes. So he's so jazzed. He's so excited. The excitement. By the time you're sleeping, it's 3 in the morning. Right, right. The joy on their faces. Right. So I think that humanity, that connection, that just the opening of the heart makes a whole lot of difference. Absolutely. But by the time you come back to the city, you don't want to come back. You just want to By the way, I've been born and raised in PCA St. Andrews. Right. I think I've mentioned that to you before. And I remember when they were, putting money together to, for church expansion plans. One of the speakers highlighted an individual and wanted to say thank you because they dedicated their time. And you know who that individual was? The architect. Right. I was so... I don't know why I remember that, but I kind of found that very impressive because what they were saying in short is his contribution to the church was using his skills. Yes. And this is now the challenge to everybody who's watching, that you may not have the money, but what skill set do you have? Exactly. So you can't say that there's nothing to do. No, and that's what I was saying. If you don't have that, what do you have?
Right, because he actually came up with the design plan. So instead of charging consultation fees, he said, hey, this is my way. This is my contribution.
And I've done that with a lot of people.
Right.
Where some people come in and say, John Mark, I may not have the money.
Right.
But I'm going to do the design.
Right.
And another one says, I'll do the QS for you. Another one says, I have a vehicle.
Yeah.
Whatever you need shipped to that place, just call me.
Right.
Just call me. Another one will say, listen, I will be home at this particular place at that particular time. I will supervise the activity.
Right.
I'll give you a simple illustration. When we were building church in the village, a church that I was spearheading, there are ladies who said, as we don't have money, but we will bring the water that the workers will need. Another one said, me, I'll bring the porridge.
Yes.
I will just cook the porridge and bring for people who are working. Because I can't carry stones.
Yes.
I will bring the porridge. And a lady, I remember one lady just came in and said, well, I don't have much, but my son has a bicycle. That's on me.
Wow.
Wherever they want to go,
I
my
like
bicycle.
That's amazing. So the point here is, you've got something, use what you've got.
Use what you've got.
Use what you've got to help others.
Bring it and let it be part of what we are doing.
Right.
Because by the time we finished, the church is called All Saints Memorial. Why All Saints Memorial? We remember everybody's contribution.
All right.
That lady who tells you, name that window after me.
Yeah.
And we're calling them. All the windows have got everybody named after them.
Oh,
There's
that's
a family.
great.
This family, they brought in water that guys were drinking during that time. That family brought in this. That one family cooked in this, cooked
that's
this, did
amazing.
this. So we say memory of so and so, this family, memory.
And
so
just
memorial.
thinking, I'm thinking about the people who have been affected by these floods. If all of us came together with whatever we have, we can make an impact.
And a major impact.
And a major impact.
A major impact.
Okay, I'm being told by my director we have literally 5 minutes. And I just want to ask you very quickly, because this is your message to those who are in leadership, who may be trying to use this particular opportunity to make a standpoint for themselves. I've seen crazy situations where instead of helping people, you're branding water bottles and everything with your face. So that, okay, so this is a good time by the way to campaign. It's an excellent time for you to get people to listen to you. But what do you want to tell those people who are just about to start launching, you know?
Now, let's get down to the basics.
Yeah.
Our situation is bad, and we really need help, and we need everybody to do the best they can.
Yeah.
Whether you're a political leader, you're a society leader, you're a business person, you're just a church leader, whatever your background, you can do something. But don't use it as a mileage for you that when you bring in 1 bag of maize and you want a photo with the guys who do not have food, who are naked with... No, you're not showing us anything. We will respect you if you add some dignity to that person's life. We can vote for you if you want our vote if we see you dignifying those who are going through. But you might just lose our respect when you capitalize on this. Number 2, do not just say, I do not have money to send. It might just be your time we need. That come in and be part of what we are doing. You can donate your time, you can donate your resources. Some we have in the house. Some of you have a lot of sufurias you don't use. You need to use them when they are special guests.
These are the guests.
These are the VIPs.
Yes.
And they really need it. And trust you me, in heaven on the other side, God is watching. And you know why he's watching? He says, if you do this, the least of this, you've done it to me.
Right.
The list of the people who are drowning, people who've lost their loved ones, people who their homes get swept, people who don't have a place to sleep.
Yeah.
The mattress you're waiting to give to a guest, a VIP, when people come for sleepover. Right now, there are people who don't have a place to sleep on, not even over. And if they get a mattress, that would help. It doesn't matter what it is you've got. You can generously and genuinely and with some dignity give it to us and give it to organizations that are doing this. When they have reached their destination, you get the feedback and you'll be able to say, thank you, I helped make someone's life better. Reverend,
and you know, now that we're on that point, I just want you to leave us with that verse that comes to mind, which is really about what you need to do for your neighbor. What did the Creator instruct us to do for our neighbors, for the other person, right? Because I know we've got mixed audiences. We've got Muslim faithfuls. We have obviously Christians watching. We even have atheists who are watching, but we believe they're also good people. Not
actually, the principles of giving applies across the board.
It does.
The principles of giving applies across the board, and so I'll give two. The first one I've just mentioned: do unto others what you'd love them do unto you. And that goes in with, if you do this to the least of this, you've done it unto me.
Okay.
And to me here, God is talking about himself, but also to anybody else, because if I've done it to the least of this, I will have done it to myself. But the second one, which is from Matthew 25, where Jesus talks about, I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. I was naked, you gave me clothes to wear. I was in prison, you came through for me. I was, my home was wiped out by the floods, and you came through for me. If you can do that, this is what he says. He will say to you, good and faithful servant, come and inherit the kingdom.
Wow.
And that kingdom, brothers and sisters, is not based on money.
Yeah.
It is based on what you gave from your heart.
Correct.
And it's based on how much you're willing to be human enough to the people who need it most.
Amen to that. Amen. I'm not even going to add a single thing to that. I'm just going to say thank you so much.
Thank you.
By the way, let me tell you, never a dull moment with this guy on set. Reverend John Mark, ladies and gentlemen, from the Anglican Church of Kenya. Our greetings and our love to everybody, by the way, and thanks so much for making time for us.
Thank you.
Go well, and please, usipote.
No. Well, you know, I can't knock through the door. I have to be invited. So anytime you invite me,
this is not heaven. You can still come.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's always a joy to be with you, and it's a pleasure.
All right.
Salsa. Thanks so much. And
thank you. Thank you. And thank you to you, by the way, for watching. We hope that you've been inspired. We hope that, by the way, this is going to motivate you to do something for the one who truly needs it. Like we had said, you might not be able to do something for those who are in Maimahio, for example, but there's someone who has been affected by what's been going on. In your little way, do the most, help. All right. Thank you so much for the feedback as well. We're going to leave it there. Interactive is coming up next. My name is Shiko Kaittany. Bye-bye.